1/3 of the population of the South is of the Negro race. No enterprise seeking the material, civil, or moral welfare of this section can disregard this element of our population and reach the highest success.
Before the Civil War, approximately 26,000 African Americans attended school in the U.S. By 1920, 2 million African Americans attended school in the U.S. Education was the highest form of resistance to slavery and the ultimate expression of freedom. Early educators like Vivian Johnson Cook, pictured here, were not only teachers, they were freedom fighters. Vivian Elma Johnson was born in Colliersville, Tennessee on October 6, 1889. Vivian was one of 10 children born to Caroline and Spencer Thomas Johnson. Only 8 lived to maturity. Although both of her parents had been born into slavery, Vivian's father became a farmer and her mother the first black school teacher in Tennessee's Fayetteville County. Vivian, along with her 3 sisters, all received a college education. Vivian Johnson graduated from Howard University in 1912 and accepted a teaching position under Booker T. Washington at Tuskegee Institute. During her first year at Tuskegee, Vivian was a member of the English department. In 1914, she resigned her position at Tuskegee Institute to join the staff of the Sumner School in St. Louis, at the time one of the leading black institutions in the country. The year 1918 was a busy one for Vivian. She earned her master's degree from Columbia University, and she married Ralph Victor Cook, an engineering graduate from Cornell. After a summer of study in Chicago, the Cooks moved to Baltimore, Maryland, to teach at the Colored High School, later known as Frederick Douglass High. Mr. Cook taught mechanical engineering, and Vivian taught English. Vivian Cook is perhaps best known in the city of Baltimore for her tireless work with the community. She was a key member of and founder of so many organizations in Baltimore City. We are proud to say that one of those organizations was the first graduate chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Epsilon Omega chapter. Cook then co-founded the Philomathian Club with Mrs. Vashti McKenzie in 1932. The organization's charter was to honor women of color. Despite segregation in Baltimore schools, Cook's career flourished. She became the first woman counselor in the Baltimore school system and the first black woman to hold an administrative position in a secondary school. Vivian Cook worked as teacher, vice principal, and principal at several schools in Baltimore, including Frederick Douglass High School, Booker T. Washington Junior High School, and Dunbar. As chairperson of the art committee of the Cooperative Women's Civic League, Cook led initiatives to exhibit black artists at the Baltimore Museum of Art. In 1938, she was on the African American subcommittee of the Baltimore Museum of Art's Committee of the City, where she advocated for an educational component to the 1939 exhibition of contemporary Negro art. This was one of the first major exhibitions in the U.S. to feature African American artists, and this landmark exhibition attracted 12,000 visitors to the Baltimore Museum of Art in just 2 weeks. Cook went on to collaborate with the curator of the museum on other projects highlighting African American art. Cook worked with the Women's Cooperative Civic League to arrange the museum's 1941 acquisition of a Dock's Thrash watercolor, Griffin Hills, and in 1946, the acquisition of a Jacob Lawrence watercolor, Lifeboat. In 1949, she received the Howard University Alumni Medal for Achievement in Education. From 1951 to 1956, Cook was a member of the National Executive Board of the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. She retired from Dunbar in 1956, but not from the world of education. She became Assistant Director of Practice Teaching in the Teacher Education Department of Morgan State College in Baltimore in 1956. Many of those joining us today have fond memories of Miss Cook as a teacher, friend, advisor, great aunt, and leader in the community. Vivian Johnson Cook died of a heart attack at the age of 88 in 1977. She will be forever remembered as a master educator, community leader, and a woman devoted to the advancement of people of color. Her papers are archived at Howard University.